Okay, team, happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, hump day. All right. Told you I really crack myself up all the time. One of those things. I gotta make fun of myself. So we're gonna start on the floor. Okay? So come on down. We're focusing a lot on some core stability today. And we're going to definitely fit in the big three core stability movement, curl ups, side planks, and your bird dog. That's going to be a staple for us. So let's start out with the curl ups. So I was sharing with you guys last week that we want to perform a curl up, not like an abdominal crunch, but just like a head lift. So you want to place those hands underneath your lower pelvic area, and your goal is to not create any space in that lower back. And all you're going to do is lift the head up off the floor. We're not focused on rolling up into a crunch. We're just focused on lifting the head and then settling it back down. Now we're going to do this 8 times with a little pause on each side, all right? So take a big inhale, exhale, and just lift the head. Your head lifts about 1 inch off the floor and settle down. That pause is about 2 to 3 seconds. That's 2. And curl up. 3. I don't like to use curl up, but you're curling your head up. 4, or lifting your head up. 5, 6, you feel how that core engages. 7, holding it to stabilize. Last one, and 8, and release it. Let's switch sides. Right leg is up. Extend the left leg out. Take a big inhale. Let's lift the head. Remember, we're not lifting through the shoulders. And release it down. And curl up. Feeling that engagement. And down. This is 3. Pause and release. 4. If your neck gets tired, just rest. 5. It's quality over quantity here. 6. 7. And 8, and release. Let's roll over to our left side so we can do our DNS pattern. We're going to set up with our left shoulder over our left elbow. I like to just sort of start in this 90-90 position with my hip, knees, and ankle. And from here, I adjust out as if I'm going to do a side plank on my knee. So take a big inhale, and I want you to just lift the hips up. That's all we're doing is a side plank with the hips up. From here, we're going to either lift the knee alone or the whole leg. All right? That top arm, we're going to reach it forward, and then we're going to take our hips, and we're going to sit down into a chair. All right? And then we're going to extend and stand up. And while we're doing that, we're pulling the arm back, squeezing that glute forward. We're going to do this 5 times. Sit back in that chair, that top arm counterbalances, and pull up and squeeze. That's 1. Reach the hip back. I want to see that hinge up and 2. If you can picture yourself upright, it looks like you're squatting. 3. 2 more. 4. Last one. Breathe, and 5. Good stuff. Let's switch over to the opposite side. Right elbow underneath the right shoulder. You can start into a 90-90. Adjust those legs back. Lift up into the side plank. Lift the knee only, or the knee and the ankle. Left arm reaches out in front of you. Sit your butt back into the chair. So you're squatting. Now let's pull up and squeeze. Hips forward. Reach out. Up and squeeze. So that bottom hip is off the floor. Reach back. up and squeeze. 2 more, lengthen through that upper back, and then squeeze into that glute. Last one, and squeeze and release it. All right, let's go back to those curl ups. So you can stay with the left leg on the floor, or you can level it up by lifting that leg up. All right, again, we're just curling and lifting the head up. Here we go. 8, 1, and settle it down. Remember, your pause is about 2 to 3 seconds. Your head only lifts about an inch off the floor, maybe 2. And up. 4 more and breathe. Drive that lower back down. Got those hips active as well. If you decided to lift that leg up. I should say the left hip. All right, let's switch sides. Left leg is out. Gonna bring your hands back underneath your pelvic area. Drive the back into your hands. Gonna level by lifting up that right foot off the ground. It really hovers. It's only about an inch. Here we go. Head up. Pause and settle down. Lift. Pause and settle down. Lift. That's 4. 5. Remember, if your neck gets tired, just take a moment. Last one. Nice job. Let's roll over. DNS. Left side. So let's go through the stack. Left shoulder over elbow. 90-90 with the knees. Shift it back like you're doing a side plank. Lift the hips up off the ground so you're in a side plank. Knee or whole leg lifts off the bottom leg. Reach the arm out. Sit the hip down. Pull everything in together. Squeeze. 1. We got 5. Pull in. 2. Sit down. Pull in. 3. Reach those hips back. Pull in. 4. One more time, and 5. Good. Let's over to the other side. Last time. Right elbow under right shoulder, 90-90. Adjust it so you're in a bent knee, side plank. Knee and foot up, whichever one you want to lift. Left arm reaches, hip sits down. Now squeeze up and pull. 1. Sit it down. Squeeze up and pull. 2. Sit in that chair. 3. Stand up. Sit. Stand up. 4. Last one. And 5. Good, and release it. All right, a little sip of water. Okay, we're going into a side plank position. Again, no movement here. We're going to really stabilize this plank. So it's up to you whether you want to go on your hand or on your forearm. Right, let's start with the left side. 1 straight line. All right, left elbow underneath that shoulder. If you can, try not to help yourself lift up. But if you have to, please feel free to do that. All right, take a big inhale. Gonna exhale, let's lift it up. I'm just gonna set a timer here. All right, so we're pulling our toes towards our head. We're reaching our heels to the wall. We're squeezing those glutes. We're lifting up those leg muscles. We're pulling in that belly button. We've got our shoulders stacked, all right, because we're creating a nice straight line. And we're breathing. Hang in there. We got 10 seconds. Squeeze it tight. Make a fist of that bottom hand if you're on your forearm. Squeeze your butt. And release it. Let's go over to the opposite side. Stacking it up. Again, we're not doing any movement here, as we're really trying to isolate the position and stabilize. Pull those toes up. Lift those knees up. Engaging those quads. Squeeze the bum. Pull the belly button in. Stack the shoulders. And breathe. If you want, engage more by creating a fist, pressing down the elbow and forearm into the floor. And breathe. And release it. Nice job, everybody. All right, moving on to the next movement. Whew. All right, what do we have here? We have bird dogs. So we're going to do a total of 10 bird dogs, 5 on each side. So we're going to come up in our tabletop position. I need to just cushion my knees here. So if you need to cushion your knees, go ahead. Your hands are underneath your shoulder. We're going to extend the right arm up, palm up, thumbs out, with the left heel back. All right. We're going to pull the knee in towards the hand without rounding the spine. And then we're going to lengthen right back up. We're going to try our best to keep the spine as stable and straight as possible. 5 reps. 1. Reach out. 2. Keep the tummy tight. Take your time. 3. And reach. 4. Trying not to move. And 5. And reach. Nice. All right. Shake it out. Going to the opposite side. Right hand supported underneath that right shoulder. Let's lengthen through the left arm and the right leg. Pull the belly in. And here we go. Pull the knee in. Almost like a chop. And then reach it right back out. Again, trying not to curl as you go in. Keep the spine steady. Now be mindful that you're not arching through the lower back. So pull that belly in. One more time. Good, and rest. So when we go back to those bird dogs, I'll go over what I mean about the lower back arch. All right, let's get to our side planks. It's a 30-second hold. Last time around. All right, pull those toes up towards your head. Reach those heels away from you. Pull those quad muscles up. Engage them, squeeze them tight. Squeeze the glutes tight. Pull that belly in tight. Push that forearm down. Make a fist. Feel like a good angry. Like you're squeezing everything really tight. And then smile. Well, don't smile because I think you might lose the intensity. And release. When I smiled, I started losing my intensity. So maybe don't smile. Other side. Stack it up. If you need to stagger your legs. Raise up and hold. Right shoulder is over that right elbow. You're making a fist with that right hand. You're really driving that right forearm down into the ground. Pulling the belly button in tight. Squeeze the glutes tight. Pull those kneecaps up even tighter. Whew, let's crack a walnut with the butt cheeks. Squeeze it tight. Pull the toes up. Drive the heels back. And release it down. Good job. I tell you, that really gets your heart rate going. All right, going back to the bird dogs. All right, so when you set up for the bird dog position, maybe you'll play around a little bit with the pelvic. See what it feels like to push the hips back and then round up. And then you want to find something stable in the middle of that. All right, so we're going to start with that right leg, extending back, and the left arm extending out. Inhale, left arm out, right leg back. From here, if you feel any stress in that lower back, pull the belly in, tucking the pelvic under slightly. Here we go, 5 reps. Trying not to move through that spine. Keep it nice and stable. No curling of the shoulder. No curling of the hip or the pelvic under. Let's do 2 more and breathe. Last one and breathe and extend and release. All right, team. Nice job. Let's go to the other side. Right arm and left heel. Palm up, reach it out, lift it up. Do a belly check. I feel like I got an arch in my back, so I'm pulling my belly in slightly. Here we go. Engaging. So I gave that fire analogy, right? Feel like somebody's lighting a lighter underneath your tummy, fire. And you got to pull that belly away from it. All right? That's how tight you're keeping that belly button pulled in. I'm going to do one more. Yes, and release it. All right. Little sip of water. Gonna move on. Let's see what we got next. Okay. We're moving into single leg glute bridges. That's gonna be followed by tabletop hover. And I want you to use that tabletop hover as a playground time for you. All right. So we're coming back to our backs. Feet are in line with those hips. So I feel the easiest way to get into the position is by elevating the hips through your glutes. From here, we'll lift the left leg up. You'll feel the weight shift into that right leg, right? You can stay with a bent knee, okay? Or you can come into an extended leg. All right, so everybody's holding on right now. If this is a challenge for you, just do the glute bridges with both feet down. All right, here we go. Let's drop the hip down. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the glutes up and hold. It's a little pause. Make sure the rib cage is settled down and you're not arching through the lower back. Let's drop and drive up. That's 2. And drop, really pushing through that right leg or that right foot. 3. 2 more and drive up. 4, little pause. Last one, let's hold it up. If you want, challenge it. Keep the hips up. Release that leg down. Lift that opposite leg up, either bent knee or come into a straight leg or keep both legs down. That left glute and hammies are on fire, I hope. Let's drop it down, hip, and reach it up and pause and drop and reach. You're lifting up with the glute muscles and drop and lift. We have 2 more. Last one. Release the leg first, still squeezing, then let's drop the hip down. And since we're here, let's stretch. Pull the knees in. Take a big inhale and exhale. Let's roll it over and get into that tabletop position. All right. Use this as a playground for yourself. I'm going to hold it for 30 seconds. Spread those fingertips, corkscrew those elbows. Shoulders are over your wrists. Pull the belly button in. Knees underneath your hips. And your toes are tucked. All right? After the countdown, you're going to lift the knees up just a little bit. So lift the knees, and we're hovering. We're not doing anything unless you feel like you're ready to level it up. All right? You can stay here, keeping the hips in line with the shoulder, or maybe you'll step back into a strong plank and pause for a moment, and then come back to that hover and pause. Maybe you'll repeat it, and then come on back in and release it. All right, shake it out. Flip it back over, team. We're going back to the single leg, glute bridges. All right, big inhale. Lift the hips. Let's start with that right leg. Woo, I love how my left side completely activates. All right, let's change this up just a little bit. We're going to lock that right knee into our body. We're not going to let it get away from us. Going to pull that heel to your butt. And let's drop the hip and squeeze it up. What I like about locking the knee in is that it limits the range of motion, and you really have to isolate those glutes. It takes everything out. We got 2 more. Don't forget to pause. Lift. Last one. Let's lift it and hold it. Release. Shift it over. Lock the knee in. Here we go. Down and up. Drop and lift. It's a big difference on the lift, and you notice it right away. Lift up. 3. 2 more. Don't overthink it. 4. Just stop at that end range. Last one and lift. 5. And release it. All right, last set of those tabletop hovers. So pick and choose what you want to do. I think I'm going to go into some shoulder taps. If you want to join me for shoulder taps, we're going to set those hands a little closer where those thumbs are in the middle, almost touching each other. But your shoulders are still over your wrists. All right, 5-second countdown. Corkscrew, belly in. Let's lift it up. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge myself by tapping one shoulder at a time. Every time I plant my hand down, I'm sure that I'm trying to corkscrew my elbows or my hands into the ground so my elbows are forward. I also want to be mindful that I'm not lifting up through my hips, that they're staying elevated with my shoulders. And rest. Whew. All right, we're getting through this. Little sippy sip. We're moving to the last 2 movements. So, I want to recommend, if your balance is not quite there, grab a chair or use something for support. We're going to go into bottom-up lunges into a knee drive. So you're going to stabilize at the top a little longer. So I'm just folding my mat up for a little support under my knees or cushion under my knees. Your bottom-up lunge, your toes are tucked. You're going to come into a half kneeling position. Right? Your knee is over your ankle. You want to really try to push down through the heel and not lift the heel. All right? Because then it sends everything to the knee, and we're really trying to activate those glutes and create some stability there. From here, we're going to take a big inhale, engage that right glute, drive up, and we're going to pull the knee up. We're going to pause, and then we're going to sink it down just to a hover. Hold and then release. So your hold is going to be a 2 to 3 second hold. We got 5 on each leg, all right? Remember, if you need to hold on, grab hold of a chair or the wall. Here we go. Drive up. Pause. Sink the lunge. Pause. Release the knee. Drive up. Pause. Sink the lunge. Drop the knee. Drive up. Pause. Sink the lunge, drop the knee. 2 more times. You want to do about a 2 to 3 second pause, isometric hold, release it. 1 more. And release. Let's switch sides. Engage that glute on that left side. Drive up, pause, sink and hold, and release it. Push up. Woo! ISO hold. Then release it down. Pause. Release. Pause. Release 1 more time. And release it. Woo! All right, team. Let's stand up. We're going to get a set of those airplanes in, alternating. Total count is 10. So palms up, thumbs out. We're lengthening through the back leg. Of course, I'm standing on my folded mat. My balance is off even more. Keeping the chest up, stand up, and switch. Think about rotating the toe to the floor, reaching the heel to the wall behind you, towards the ceiling. Keeping those hips parallel to the floor. Stabilizing leg. That knee is soft. You're not hyperextending through it. Chest is lifted. Your spine is completely extended. And release. 10 is your total, 5 on each side. We got one more round. All right, when you're ready, we're back down. So let's level up the isometric hold of the lunge by rotating just ever so slightly towards the bent knee direction. All right, so here we go. Right leg is forward, knee is over the ankle, back toe is tucked. Engage those glutes. Let's drive up. You can pull the knee or just drive it up. Pause. Left leg is back, sink, pause, rotate towards that right side, center, and then release it down and repeat. Up, your pace, pause, sink down, rotate, center, and release. Up, sink down, rotate, center, and release. I'm not giving myself a lot of time on that release. I'm going right into that drive. Small rotation. Last one, trying to keep my shoulder in line with my torso. Woo! Baby, other side. Here we go. Stack it up and drive it up. Sink, rotating left, ever so slightly, release the knee. Drive up, pause, lunge and sink, hold, rotate, center, release it. Drive up, sink and pause, rotate, center, release it. 2 more. Up. Last one. Whoop. Woo. I can't wait for those to be over. All right, last set of those airplanes. 10 reps, alternating. If you feel comfortable, you could just do one side at a time. All right, here we go. Soft knee, flat back, chest is lifted. Maybe you'll have to reset every time you come upright. Okay, that helps you. Open those arms, thumbs up, palms up, right? I think that was 10. I'm gonna do 2 more just to be sure. Whew. All right, team. When you're done, I love this class. This really gives you an opportunity to focus on movement. Let's take a big inhale up. Exhale out. Inhale up. And exhale out. Pull those arms back behind you. Chin up, chest up. Lengthen through that chest. Yeah. Round open that back. Inhale those arms overhead. Exhale over to the right. Inhale center. Exhale left. Back to the top. One last deep breath in. Let's get those inner thighs and hips really quick. Stand nice and wide, toes are forward. Go ahead and shift your weight over to the right side. Hold it here. You can stay here, or I want you to open up that top arm. Resting that left arm on that right thigh while you rotate through the spine. Good, release it down. Switch over to the opposite side. Breathe. If you want to rotate, right hand on the outside. Reach that left arm up. Good, and back to the center. Shift your weight, toe heel in. Let's do a couple cat-cows. Inhale, roll. Exhale, release it, push the pelvic back. And roll. And push it back. Last time, roll it all the way up, shoulders back and down. Deep breath in. Oh, hey guys, great job. Thanks for joining